This is a new lake to me. I've never been on it, never seen it, kind of looking for fish.
We're flying into a remote lake for lake trout in part 2 of our trip to Ontario.
It's big, it's huge.
9 million acres of forest, 1,700 miles of continuous shoreline, 4,300 lakes, 12,000 miles of streams, more than 300 waterfalls, 15 counties, 2 time zones, and 1 area code. Welcome to the Upper Peninsula. Welcome to 906 Outdoors. Last week's show brought us to PK Resort in Ontario for a fly-in fishing trip along with Mark Martin and his wife Joni. Part of that adventure included a day trip into a remote, hardly ever seen, much less fished, Lake Trout Lake. And in this part of Ontario, about the only way to get anywhere
Clear prop
is by bush plane.
Seeing this is a new lake to me. I've never been on it, never seen it. Given a little cryptic map of it, I'm kind of making my own map right now. I'm kind of looking for fish. The wind's been blowing in here for a couple days, so the fish should be right out here because of the bugs and minnows and everything else that they feed on should be in this general area right here off of these sides of any of these islands. Just came across an area where I seen a couple fish, so we got to start somewhere, and we're moving faster than normal than you'd fish. So hopefully when we start back trolling here, we're going to be right on these fish here real quick. So we'll get these poles rigged up here and get started. I think what we'll do is get the jigs on and those new power bait minnows and maybe some ripple shads. The fish are going to be feeding on minnows and bugs in here, and I already seen a few fish that are just a little bit off of the bottom when I first pulled up on this island. I'm gonna go check the point of this island because it was southwest wind. The wind's been blowing into this point right up here for the past couple days, so I figure we might as well hit on the side of the island that all the food's getting blown into and just kind of work it like you're supposed to. I've never been to this lake before, so it's kind of like relying on all your fishing knowledge and the fish finder to tell you where there's fish, but at least going by common sense things that where fish should be. So and I'm going to start concentrating on my fish finder, and as soon as I see fish, we're going to get rigged up and start back trolling some power baits. There's the power baits right there. You always kind of measure them up a little bit so you can see where you want the hook to come out so that they lay straight on this thing and look like what they're supposed to. So you want it kind of straight right there like that and drop her down. Wow, you can see a long ways, I'll tell you that. Now that you drop something in the water, you can see a long ways.
Okay. Done.
Okay.
Bottom.
All right.
Bottom.
And just kind of lift. You can keep it 4 or 5 feet off. You can keep it 2. Anything you feel, you got to set the hook on. Oh, I lost him. Dang, that was a fish right there. Just a little. I mean, it's not like live bait fishing. Anything you feel bumping. You had a bump too, Patty? Have a hook to it, I guess. You had a hit too just before that?
Yep.
There. Oh, he's off. Dang it. I pay attention. There's more. There's a bunch of fish down here. You better start fishing. Looks like those power baits that Berkeley just came out with are just the ticket for lake trout up here in Canada too. Nice looking lake trout. I think we had our lines in the water for less than 5 minutes and we've had 3 fish on. They almost look like a brook trout. These are natural lake trout. These are not planted lake trout from anywhere. These all were hatched here, born here, spawned here, and no outside influences. So yeah, we're gonna keep a few lake trout for the smoker. Paul wants to, get everybody in camp a little taste of Canadian lake trout here. So we're gonna save a few of them for camp for everybody. Yeah, and our homemade stringer nail from the fire pit that we found in this camp here. So we'll get right back at it here and see if we can catch some more. Didn't take long.
No.
Put on a poor man's downrigger.
Poor man's downrigger, whatever's in the boat.
Ooh, that's a better fish. Holy smokes, that's a good one. That's a good one there, Brian. Boy, that didn't take very long. That's a nice one. 5-pounder. Coming out across this a little spline off of this island right here, and I was seeing some fish down there, and I missed one a second ago, and then this one kept twitching it until it finally came back, and looks like another one that half size as yours. Another little lake trout right there for the smoker. We'll throw them on the homemade stringer. Well, that's not taking too long around here.
Whoa!
Just kind of, you only got 6-pound test on the end for leader, so.
Do I do it fast, slow,
just keep a bend in the rod. And...
I don't see him yet, but we were down pretty deep.
Okay, he's coming.
Here he comes. Boy, he's a fighter.
Okay, so there's your first lake trout. Stop right there. Don't need no more up. Hold him there and let him fight there. We switched to a smaller power bait. This is a ripple shad right here on a Northland roundhead jig. Pretty good size weight. Dropped it down in 80-some feet of water, so I trolled about, half to 3/4 of a mile an hour, and that raised it up about 20, 25 feet, and then we just trolled across this spline right here.
My first lake trout. pretty.
What did I say? Somebody's gonna get one.
Oh, you've been saying that for the last 2 hours.
No, I
Now
haven't.
somebody finally did. You're like, what did I say? I could have been
did.
saying it for the
There it
last
is.
2 hours too.
Gotta get. Whoa! Oh! Got another one. Move spots. We figured might as well move and check out some new spots. And I lost one here a second ago, and Patty had a couple hits. Brian had a hit. This is probably a better one than I had so far today. Boy, he's a fighter. Boy, are they fighters. Boy, these things are so strong. These things feel like one giant muscle when they start twisting and turning. Another Canadian lake trout.
906 Outdoors is brought to you by Cooking Wild Seasonings. Make it fresh, make it yours. It's time to make you hungry. Brought to you by Cooking Wild Seasonings.
We're gonna take this jig and rapala here and tie them on everybody's line. They're the big ones, and we're gonna go down there and have at it with these big lake trouts. If those big ones want this, we're gonna give big lake trout what they want. This is a glow in the dark. We got some glow in the dark fire tigers and glow in the dark chartreuse ones, and we're gonna go down there into 60, 70 feet of water and see if we can catch another one. I see some down here right now.
Something on there. I think it's a big pike.
A big play.
Big walleye.
The only one in the trout lake.
He's putting on more of a fight than he felt like in the beginning, I can tell you that.
You were bringing him in for
Yeah,
a
he
while.
was coming right up, and now he's changed his mind.
Yeah. Put it on that glowing dark jig and wrap there.
Yeah.
All right. Feel nice, Patty?
Once he's coming up, not real, doesn't feel real big.
Until he starts pulling
yeah,
again.
until he starts pulling. Oh,
There he
yeah.
is.
No.
Got him. Look
There
at
you
that,
go.
Patty.
All right.
All right.
Not a very big one, but
Hey, that's a good size.
Yeah, that's a
It's
good.
eating size. You want to kiss him?
no.
Nope.
No, this is a big. This is a monster lake trout. It's big, it's huge. This is the one we've been waiting for right here. Just tied on a jig and rapala here. Nice glow in the dark white one. I seen some fish down there hit bottom in 70 feet and just stuck it underneath me. And while I was untangling, just got done and I felt something go whack. And I set the hook on it. Nice fish. I got it on back reel because I'm gonna need back reel on this one. This is gonna be, I don't even think that net's even gonna be anything close to getting this one in. This is probably what you call a 20-some pounder. This is one of these big fish that you gotta do just certain things with. And if you don't know how to do it, you're gonna lose them. So what we wanna do is get the wind just like it is right here. Now it's gonna drift us. And now I can keep everything away from it. Just trying to get this thing off of bottom is gonna be a chore. And I only got 6-pound sensation, Berkeley sensation on the end, and this is 6-pound fire line. The fire line's like a tow rope. And we got all day. That's, you know, I always tell people when you get a big fish on, just keep that bend in the rod there, and you get, it's too big just to crank in, and it'll wear out here pretty soon. I seen bubbles coming up from them here, because lake trout can release the pressure in their bellies where walleyes can't get rid of the air in their air bladder. Lake trout can. He's let me bring them up so far, and then just back reeling them down there because he was going back down to bottom. Well, maybe this will be the new record for this lake. Just a big, big fish. This is the kind of fish that, you know, everybody comes to Canada for, especially if you're lake trout, man. This is probably one that you would want. And these are all, like I say, natural fish. He lets me bring them up just a little bit, and that's it. Okay, now I must have busted a different stratosphere down there. Now I brought him up to the next level. You can hear the line just, look at out here, look at him. Put them head first in there, baby. Here's your chance. Head first, let them slide. Just keep them there. Don't lift them up.
Oh my God.
Keep them in the water. Keep them in the water.
Whoa, he's huge. He's huge. Look at that.
Because he'll. And a glow in the dark jig and rapala. Wasn't down in the water more than a minute. Unbelievable. Oh. Now that's a lake trout. It's got to be close to 20 pounds, I'd say. At least 20 pounds. At least 20. He's an old man or old girl, one of the two, 35-inch lake trout. That's huge. I'm gonna have to help him. Come on, go, baby, go, 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 go.
There you go. He's going. Slow but sure.
Well, all good things must come to an end, and sadly our lake trout adventure was no exception. The sound of a float plane in the distance was followed by exactly that. We've all heard the expression, when my ship comes in, I'll be waiting at the dock. Well, we were fishing with Mark, so when our ship came in, we were, well, still fishing. Fishing till the last possible second, and that's just fine by me. Spending the day on a remote lake, miles from, well, everything, is pretty hard to beat.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, what a trip.
Yeah, what an experience.
So we
I mean,
just-
how many people get to experience doing something like this?
We were back at PK Resort, which is also miles away from everything. We left our lake behind, but took with us an unforgettable memory. And of course, a small stringer of lake trout, which were destined for the frying pan and the smoker.
Oh, awesome.
Well, we're back up here at PK Resort in the lodge here. We caught the lake trout. We want to make sure we get it into some brine so we can smoke it because we want everybody to enjoy it. So we're going to take the trout that we've flayed out already. We're going to put it right into the brine right here. So special brine that Judy, the chef here. Oh yeah. Lake trout. We gotta find a place to put your great brine that you brine, and you can put it in the fridge wherever you want.
Looks good already.
So,
Well, that's pan-fried trout. You just got the smoked trout, just made it into a salad.
He's in the sauna.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I mean, I like that. I like it like that. Yeah, I'm sure you can have one. I'm sure you already have one.
Was this a great trip? Certainly. Was it an adventure? You bet. The anticipation that builds while going through your tackle the night before. The excitement of hopping on a float plane. And the sense that it creates knowing it's the only way in and out of where you're going. Fishing on a lake seen by few and fished by even fewer. Lunch on a rock. It's all of this that makes it an adventure. And I can't think of a better way to top the day off than with some of Judy's spectacular pan-fried trout, smoked trout dip, good friends, a cold beer, and brand new stories of the day's adventure. Join 906 Outdoors on Facebook to see where we've been and where we're going, and get a glimpse of what's happening around the UP. And stop in at 906outdoors.com, where you can watch any of our past shows and see what's coming up next. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you next week right here on 906 Outdoors.